Well, good morning, good morning from Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. It is day two of our coffee chat from Cabo with Denise Taylor. And I have to tell you, I am so excited to continue our conversation. Our conversation yesterday was completely amazing. And I have so much more to build on top of the foundation that I laid yesterday as we shared. So I hope you have gone to get your coffee. I have my coffee here. This is a coffee chat, which means it's going to be conversational between me and you. It's going to be an opportunity for you to be reflective about where you are in your professional and life journey and what pivots or shifts might make the most sense for you now. I am Denise Taylor, corporate executive turned business strategist and coach. I am also the founder of Corporate to Entrepreneur. I empower women to take agency to do what they have been called to do. I coach ambitious professional women who are ready to step into entrepreneurship and strategically launch a profitable, purpose driven business. Now, yesterday we had an incredible conversation around that. And if you missed it, I want to invite you to take action to get access to the replay. You can get access to the replay, and you can also get reminders about my last conversation scheduled for tomorrow by going to jointhelivestream.live. That way, I will make sure that you get everything that you may have missed or that you may want to listen to again, because there were so many great nuggets shared on yesterday. And as I mentioned before, I am going to keep building. I am going to keep building on top of what was already laid as our initial foundation. Now, I will tell you, it was really important for me to do this live stream real time from the amazing Cabo San Lucas visit, for my visit here this week. And as you can see, I have a camera on screen where you have an opportunity to take in the amazing oceanfront view that, quite honestly, I fell in love with and keeps me coming back. The waters are rolling into shore. You can see beams of light coming through the cloud. It is just an amazing view. And I wanted to share that real time with you. And one of the reasons why I felt it was so incredibly important to share it real time is because the experience that I am having is one that came as a result of me grabbing the pen and designing a life and business that I love. And I wanted to invite you into that experience so that you can witness what is possible for you. Now, for me, I purposed in my heart to work from anywhere way back in 2020. And I am so grateful that I have had the opportunity to do that ever since. I shared yesterday that someone asked me last week, do you travel a lot? And my response was, I travel every chance I get. And that is a result of the desired lifestyle that I prefer. But what's cool about the way I work with my clients is we curate a business model that supports the lifestyle that you want. You don't have to adapt to the lifestyle that I've chosen and the lifestyle that I make decisions around, but you can. And what's totally possible for you is whatever it is that you desire for your own life, that is possible for you. And so I wanted to invite you into this real-time experience. I wanted you to see the ocean waters rolling in. I wanted you to know that if it could happen for me, it absolutely can happen for you. Now, I will tell you, my husband and I, we own a boutique travel experience agency. And this week, we are hosting VIPs here in Cabo, San Lucas, Mexico. We got here on Monday. We have 6 amazing VIP guests that are here with us. They're having their own travel experience. They're not locked in with us the full time. We have different things that we have planned to do together, but they get the opportunity to have an upscale experience through the agency that we have. This was a huge part of designing my life in business to not only work from anywhere, but to also give me access to great experiences in great places. Now, let me tell you, yesterday, I kicked off my day doing the live with you. And then once we got done, I had a meeting with a few coaching clients and really wrapped up my day by 10:30 local time. That is the biggest advantage of traveling west is I get time on my side. I can end my workday early enough to still be able to take in experiences that allow me to enjoy my mantra, work from anywhere. I get a chance to work well and then also play well as well. So we had a good time, and that was a big part of why we came here. After I got done with my coaching clients, I went and did some workout at one of the pools. I did some water aerobic workout at one of the 4 pools that is here on our resort. I did that for about an hour. And then I ended my day having dinner at the marina with our guests. It was an amazing dinner. Now, I will tell you, I made sure to sit where I could look out and watch the boats coming in from the runs that they had during the day. I had filet mignon and some vegetables, and I did try a couple of bites of my husband's fried cheesecake, which I had never heard of before, but it turned out to be delicious. Why am I sharing those details? Those details are important because they are a big part of the design that I've created for my life and business. I started my day working, but I ended my day enjoying the experience of where I am. And that's what I want to show to you. Now, yesterday, we started out talking about why high achieving women are craving more. And if you missed yesterday, I do want to share 3 critical things that I shared so that you're completely up to speed. So the first thing that I shared on yesterday was this incredible announcement that I made. I officially opened the doors to my inaugural Corporate to Entrepreneur live experience that will take place this fall in October. On October 25th and 26th, I will be opening up the room for women to step into their next chapter. It will be an opportunity to pause, an opportunity to reflect, and ultimately an opportunity to take the wheel in curating your next chapter. Now, here's what I know. Especially for the women that come into my spaces, the women who are my clients, the women who are at that professional crossroads, is many of them, and probably you too, have been navigating your career like a pro. But you're at the point where you are craving more alignment. You're craving more of what feels right to you. You're craving more ownership, more agency, more power, more choice, more decisioning that really rests around what it is that you want. And you're also craving more impact. You know that you still have a tremendous amount of value that you can bring, a tremendous amount of impact that you can make. And so as a result of the things that you are craving, you need space, you need strategy, and you need support to ultimately make the shift into your next chapter. And that is exactly why I created the Corporate to Entrepreneur live experience. And so I wanted to be intentional. intentional about making sure you had a glimpse into what it's like to really redefine your success. And that's the reason why this live stream from Cabo is so significantly important. But in addition to that, this is not about flexing for you. This is about allowing you to accept my invitation to do the same in your own life. That is exactly why I created the Corporate to Entrepreneur Live experience, because there are women who are ready to make a bold strategic shift into their next chapter. In this space that I am opening up, the doors are officially open, is for the high achieving woman who is ready to turn that whisper of more into a clear, purpose driven plan. That is so important. A clear, purpose driven plan, not whimsical, but intentional. And so I want you to know the experience that's going to be happening this fall, the one that you now have an opportunity to come into and be a part of, is not a workshop. It's a room designed to make sure you get clear and more confident and have a strategy to move forward with CEO level direction. That is what this experience is about. So over those 2 days, you're going to uncover what really is your next chapter and what that looks like. You're also going to have the opportunity to design a business that reflects your calling, and you'll be able to make that shift from being high performing professional into a purpose-driven business founder, owner, and entrepreneur. And so that big announcement came on yesterday. And if you missed it, I want you to be sure to go to theceoshift.live. There's a tremendous amount of information to get on the page about the experience and who it's for, and also the opportunity for you to get in that room at the pre-sale rate of 80% off. Now, 80% off means that it's going to be less than $100 to lock in your spot and get in that room. Now, you may be saying, Denise, who is this event for? And that's an excellent question. This event is for high achieving women who have mastered success in their corporate career and are ready to build a business that reflects their purpose, value, and business. And so I want to invite you to get in that space. I want to invite you to really take seriously the nudge that you feel. So the first thing that was amazing that happened on yesterday was I officially opened the doors to Corporate to Entrepreneur Live. You can now claim your seat in the room. Make a decision today that your start is coming, and prepare for that shift. The second thing that was amazing that happened yesterday is, for the very first time, I introduced what I call the power shift profiles. It was the first time that I've talked publicly about these internal shifts that signal a woman is ready to move from corporate success to entrepreneurial alignment. Now, I am not going to unpack all of them again. I'm going to invite you to catch the replay so that you can get yourself up to speed. But here is a brief recap of what those power shift profiles are and where you might find yourself right now with the crossroads that you are facing. So the first profile was quietly unfulfilled. And a lot of people are in this space where you are quietly unfulfilled. You feel like you have done everything right, but it doesn't feel like enough. The enough part is about fulfillment, not justification for what you believe should be coming to you. The enough part is, I feel unsatisfied. I feel unfulfilled. I'm continuing to show up and be successful, but it's not resonating with me because of how I have evolved. And you may find yourself there. And that's one of the internal shifts that is signaling that it may be time for you to move from corporate success to entrepreneurial alignment. Now, the second profile, the second power shift profile is a purpose seeker who is, I want more meaning beyond getting money, beyond getting praise. I want to be more attached to what I do. I want purpose to resonate from the work that I invest my time, energy, and talent into. And you may find yourself there. That is absolutely one of the shifts that may indicate that you are ready to move from corporate success to entrepreneurial alignment. Now, the third power shift profile that I reviewed in great detail yesterday is the high performer at a crossroads. And I shared with you all on yesterday that this is the one that was most tugging for me when I was facing my crossroads. And this is the person who has mastered the game. Like you're on top of the game. You know exactly what you need to do to deliver the results, but you are starting to question whether or not you want to play that game anymore. And I don't mean a game in the sense that there's no value in it, because your corporate career and your professional success are tremendously valuable. That's why you're compensated so well. But what's happening is now that you've mastered it, your interest, your fulfillment, the things that you're drawn to, your attachment, the work that's being asked of you just doesn't hit the same way that it used to. And that was the one that probably made me come face to face with whether or not I wanted to make the shift into my entrepreneurial success or continue going the corporate professional route. And so that's the one that I unpacked more on yesterday. Again, the replay. Two more. The fourth one is the ready but not rushing. This is the steady person who wants to make sure they're mitigating risk well. They know they want to build something on their own, but they want to make sure they do it right. They are looking for a strategy that rivals the one that they've led in the boardroom. They want a good plan. They want it to be solid. They want it to be have the kind of indication that they're going to get the results that they're looking for. And that is a very, very valuable place to be, because the intentionality is going to ensure you get what you're looking for. And then finally, is the person who is the visionary in disguise. They have been sitting on an idea, an inspiration, a calling, but they haven't fully owned the identity of being the CEO of it, of leading it. The whispers are strong, but they are at the point where they recognize it's a big identity shift that is going to be required of them to step in to the vision that they feel like they've been called to do. So that was the second big thing that I revealed yesterday, were the internal power shift profiles. It was so great to be able to share that, because I want to always be able to help women get clear on where they are and the thing that is happening within them, the internal shift that they're being nudged to, so that they can feel confident about knowing what's going on with them. That's like one of the biggest questions I get when I'm on the discovery call, is they sense that something needs to change, something needs to shift, but they don't know what's going on with them. And it's making them think that they're ungrateful, that they're a failure, that things are going right, when none of those things are true. There's just a shift happening because you truly are evolving. So the first big thing I shared yesterday was the doors are open for the Corporate to Entrepreneur Live event. The second big thing I shared was the profile shifts that are happening internally. And then the third thing that I share is the same thing that's on the screen right now, is this incredible view from Cabo. I'm telling you, listening to the waters roll in just never gets old. The view is immaculate. And this allows me, every time I sit and share or stare at the ocean, of just how big God is and how so many possibilities can happen for me. And so it was really important for me to get a shot where you could take that in for yourself, where you could see the vast beauty of the ocean rolling in. I remember when my girls were young, and I would be traveling east on Capitol Drive in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, for anybody that's there. I would be taking them to school, and we would be traveling east, which means that the sun was rising in our eyes. And we would be squinting along on the road. They were in the back seat. And I would say to them quite regularly, as bright as the sun was ahead of us, I would say to them, your future is as bright as the shining sun. I would say that regular to them every morning on the way to taking them to school. And I guess what I would liken to that, and the reason why it was so important for me to make sure you had a view on the ocean, the beauty of the ocean, is I want you to know your next chapter is full of all the great possibilities as far as your eye can see. As vast as the ocean is, what's possible for you is full of beauty, is full of wonder, and it is something that is possible for you. So that's the third thing you miss, but you get it today. You get a chance to see this incredible ocean view. So now that I've got in a bit of a recap there, I do just want to build on what I started with yesterday. Now, yesterday we talked about what happens when the title, the team, and the success stops being satisfying. We talked about that. We unpacked the quiet tension so many high achieving women feel. The ones that say, I've done everything right, so why does it still feel like something is missing? And so for many of you, that whisper is getting louder. You're hearing it louder. It's almost as roaring as the ocean I'm listening to now. You're getting louder. Go for more. You sense it in your body. You sense it in your heart. You sense it in your mind. Go for more. And you're not just craving change. You are craving clarity. Let me say that again. You're not just craving change. You are craving clarity. And that's where day 2 comes in. You see, you got to know how to build what's next without guessing. Okay? Because this isn't just about leaving corporate. And I talked about that some. You are not looking for an escape route. You are not looking to jump. You are not looking to exit the grind. You are looking to make a choice, a decision to design what's next with intention. And it's not just any business that you want to go for. You want to go for the right one, the one that fits who you are, the one that fits what you've built, and the one that is going to ensure the impact you want to make can happen. And so the intentionality is so critically important, especially for you, because you're standing on the shoulders of all the success that has happened to you so far. So today I'm going to walk you through how to shift from corporate strategy to CEO clarity with the framework that has helped so many women turn their experience into a purpose-driven, profitable business. Now, this is my signature framework. My signature framework has 3 parts and 8 steps. The 3 parts are what I'm going to talk about a little bit today. Now, I have another experience that I did back in May where I unpacked the framework fully. But the framework itself is simply this: purpose plus positioning equals profits. Let me say it again. Purpose plus positioning equals profits. Now, if you've been swirling in ideas, unsure where to begin, or second guessing your next move, then this conversation is the one for you. Here's what I know. When a smart woman decides to start a business, she's not doing it for survival. She's doing it for significance. Especially the women that I work with. We are not in survival mode. And I've been in survival mode in my life before, but that is not what this is. When a smart woman decides to start a business, a purpose-driven business, she's not doing it for survival. She's doing it for significance. So it's not just about trying to make money, right? Money is a big part of it. And income is something that I believe you are to be honored with, right? I believe a workman is valued through the income that they make. But for you, it's not just about making money. It's about making meaning. And that is something completely different. Like the game plan changes when it's about what resonates with you, what fulfills you, what satisfies you. And money is a part of it. Don't get me wrong. But the meaning that it has to you is more important. So that's why it's not enough to just pick any old idea or chase any old thing that's trending. It's not enough to do that. A smart woman needs to design a business that aligns with her values, leverages her brilliance, and supports the life she actually wants to live. Let me say that again. Design a business that aligns with your values, leverages your brilliance, and supports the life that you actually want to live. And when high achieving women step into entrepreneurship, it's not about escaping brokenness. Something's not broken. You're still achieving. You're still delivering. The impact is being made with you in the workplace every day. So when high achieving women step into entrepreneurship, it really is about expanding into what is next. But I will tell you, there are occasions when even the smartest of us, the smartest women, can accidentally build the wrong business. And I know that sounds crazy because you're like, smart people won't do anything wrong. But the wrong business will be one that looks good on the outside, but feels disconnected from who you are becoming. The wrong business will keep you busy, but it doesn't build towards the life that you truly want. The wrong business will have you leaning into what you can do instead of what you're meant to do. And the wrong business, quite honestly, will feel like another job when you're ready to build something on your own. So it's so important that the first step of my framework, which is really beginning to understand your purpose, is taken quite seriously, because I don't want any of those wrong business scenarios to be the one that you end up with. I want you to end up with the right business. And let me tell you what the right business feels like. The right business is aligned with your values, your strengths, and your long-term vision. The right business will channel your expertise into something both purposeful and profitable. The right business is going to feel expansive, not just productive. And that's a big difference. It's going to call the greatness out of you. The right business is going to reflect your evolution and not just your resume. And so, as you can see, there is a value to you launching the right business. Designing the right business is not just a smart move, it's a necessary one. Because for women who have already proven themselves, this next chapter isn't about proving anything to anybody. It's about building something that is fully yours. But when you design the right business, the one that's rooted in your purpose, shaped by positioning, and built with strategy, everything will change for you. Everything will shift in all of the right ways. You will create income in alignment. You will create impact and freedom, and you will experience fulfillment without sacrificing success. It is the level up. It's the level up in your experience and in your life. So the right business is not just good for you, it's good for the people you're called to serve and the legacy you're meant to lead. That's what the right business means. So this step, this very first step that many of us rush past, is a critical step to set you up for next chapter success. And that is why the model that I've designed, the framework that I've designed, starts with purpose. For you, this next chapter is not out of desperation. It is out of discernment. You sense that you're being called to greater. You sense that you're being called to more. You sense that you're being called to make impact. You sense that you're being called to greater. And as a result of that, you are discerning how to be more intentional about it. So you're not looking to abandon success. You're looking to expand it. But this time, it's on your own terms. And that's why designing the right business is so important. Okay. Now, what I find happens is when high achieving women build without intention, they risk misaligning their expertise. They risk underutilizing their brilliance, and they risk building something that doesn't reflect who they are becoming. And this is important because when we go inward and we try to figure out things on our own, we miss our growth edges. And that's the power of coaching. If you've got a great coach, they should be pulling you to expand. They should be pulling you to consider how you're growing. They should be pulling you to stretch. So this business is not going to fail. It's going to fulfill. Let's say that again. It's not going to fail. It's going to fulfill, which means the measurement tool is all rooted in you. So when you bring in strategy, you will ensure that you're building something that truly aligns with where you are, and who you are becoming. But the business aspect does need positioning. It needs market positioning, and it is market positioning that's going to allow you to deliver the impact and get the income in a meaningful way that drives momentum. And what I find is we start with these great ideas, but we don't have market positioning. We don't have the solution that people are willing to pay for. We don't have a definition of the problem that they're looking to solve. We're just showing up saying, this is what I do. Market positioning ensures that it reflects the inspired version that your clients are looking to attain. And that's the business aspect that is often missing from people who just do it on their own. They show up saying, this is what I do, without packaging, without positioning. And it is the packaging and positioning that inspires the impact and drives the income and ensures the meaning and encapsulates the momentum. So here's the thing. This is why you need a strategy that rivals one in the boardroom, right? This is why you need something to come alongside what you're trying to do, because it's got to be positioned in the marketplace in the right way. All right. So I want to share with you a few client experiences of people who have been able to get success from the purpose plus positioning equals profits framework that I have. But I don't want you to forget, like I got my coffee cup here. This is a coffee chat. We are being reflective. And so I think for reflection right now, before I talk about my client experiences, you should ask yourself, do I really have good positioning for what it is I'm bringing to the marketplace? Do I have a really good strategy to really talk about the problem that I solve and message accordingly in a way that attracts clients? Do I really have the clarity to be able to approach the marketplace in a way that's going to generate the impact, income, and momentum? Do I know enough to be successful in this next chapter? Is what you have to reflect and begin to ask yourself. And so I want you to think about that. Think about that for where you are. Do you know enough? Do you have enough clarity? Do you know what your zone of genius is? And do you know how to position it in the marketplace? Because that is a key part of taking this corporate to entrepreneur journey. All right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about a few client experiences that I believe show impact. And that's so important. The first one really kind of unpacks the experience someone had going from a strategic specialist or expertise to a premium consultant. The first one is this. They came to me with years of corporate leadership experience in HR, project leadership, compliance. They had all of that pedigree and background. And at first, she was looking for a business idea. And I find this a lot. People are trying to look for something outside of themselves. I need a great idea. This seems to be working in the marketplace. She had the same sentiment as so many do. I call them Jills of all trades, where they say, I can do anything. And many of us can. We have gifting to be able to show up and make a lot of things successful. And while that sounds good, to be ready to do anything, it is not strategic in the least bit, not at least at the start. At the start, you need to introduce great intentionality. And through my guidance, she really already had a foundation. So we took the framework to package her value. That's what we spent time doing, packaging her value, positioning it in the market, giving it more crystallized messaging so she could begin to really say what problem she solved and what problem people actually wanted to pay her to solve. When you do that, you position yourself to attract clients. And that's what she was able to do. So using my signature framework, the one that I've been talking a little bit about today, which is purpose plus positioning equals profits, she launched her premium offer that was based on her zone of genius. And she started attracting clients that signed and aligned with her expertise. She was able to land a contract, doing business. And the beautiful thing was the contract she landed, it exceeded what she paid to work with me. So her return, her ROI was significant in that particular case. The second client experience I want to share is someone who felt like they were undervalued as a leader, and she really wanted to reclaim her voice, okay? She felt unseen in her corporate role, not because she wasn't capable, but because she had outgrown the structure. And when you outgrow the structure, you question everything about yourself because you no longer feel connected with what it is you're doing. It doesn't resonate with you. And instead of questioning the alignment and placement of where you are, we often internalize it and make it as if something is wrong with us. Now, the key thing in this particular case is she didn't want to start over. She didn't want to abandon her career success. And the reality is she didn't have to. That is not the approach that I'm taking. I am not saying that you have to burn down everything that you've done. We build on the shoulders of your success. And in her particular case, she just wanted to own it differently. She wanted to own her success differently. And that's the beauty, is you get the opportunity to redefine success on your own terms. So we started clarifying her purpose. We started allowing her to own her unique positioning. We started with reframing her identity as a founder as opposed to just a doer. And we designed a business model that fit the life that she wanted to have. And through that experience, she gained a renewed sense of agency, ownership. And that's so incredibly important. Now, I have one more that I want to share with you before I get further into closing up. And this is the multi-talented professional who is drowning in all of the ideas. And many people do that. We experience this because we try to research and over-inform ourselves. We take in too many ideas And so you find yourself in what truly is analysis paralysis, where you're stuck trying to pick the perfect one. And instead of deciding, you find yourself swirling. You're unsure what to choose. You're overwhelmed from the research, and you're all in your head. In your head, because you've taken in too much content, but it causes the paralysis, which means you're not taking action. And when you're not taking action, it causes this backup to occur. And that's when overwhelm sets in. So through my coaching, I helped her stop chasing random inspiration. Let me say that again. Stop chasing random inspiration and build a business rooted in clarity, structure, and a real plan instead. Not random inspiration. She saw that her success wasn't behind her or even outside of her. It was within her. And so the things that you're looking to inspire you outwardly, I want you to look inwardly to purpose. And it needed to be redefined in a way that positioned her to move forward. Now, I have a slew of other client experiences, but those were the three that I thought might resonate with you, with where you are. Maybe you are the person who is the expert, but needs positioning of what it is you're trying to bring to the marketplace. Maybe you're the person who needs to reclaim your voice, your power, because you're starting to recognize that you have outgrown where you are. Or maybe you are the person who has overloaded yourself with content, overloaded yourself with research, and now you're all in your head spiraling and unsure about what action you need to take or what to do. Those things, those situations all transformed as a result of the strategic framework that I shared with you. My signature framework, which again is purpose plus positioning equals profits, has been a game changer for one simple reason and one reason alone. It brings strategy to a decision most women try to make emotionally. Let me say it again. My signature framework, purpose plus positioning equals profits, has been a game changer for one simple reason. It brings strategy to a decision most women try to make emotionally. Because too many high achieving women try to approach entrepreneurship with either too much pressure to pick the right idea or too little clarity on how to turn their purpose into a profitable model. It's one of the two. Too much pressure on yourself or too little clarity. In all of those scenarios, or both of those scenarios, thrust you into this emotional state that makes you pause, stop, stagnate, and not move forward. And my framework shifts all that because it grounds your business in purpose. You're not building just to stay busy. You're creating something that reflects you, all of you, your values, your strengths, and your long-term vision. And it's the positioning that sharpens. It allows you to stand out in the marketplace. It allows you to attract aligned clients who are looking to be served with what you bring to the table. And the last thing, it allows you to communicate your value with confidence. And I will tell you, that's usually a big struggle because many of us have been able to achieve corporate success without having to be visible externally. And so one of the biggest shifts that I often have to work with women on is how to be successful in this space, how to be successful in this arena. And it's going to call for you to make a shift and do some things that you need to be coached through. You need to understand how to do them. You need to understand why it's important that you do them. That's a part of the coaching experience. And so the framework truly does stop the swirling and it allows you to start building. And for many of us, we have passion and we have drive. That passion and drive has gotten us to where we are. But I want you to know that passion for this next thing is not enough. And here's the reason why. Passion is a spark. but it's not a strategy. You can be passionate about many things, but without clarity of purpose and without smart positioning, that passion won't translate into any profit. It won't translate into any money, not real money. You may get some change, but you need some real money. So you have got to understand that strategy requires more. It brings meaning to your business because it's rooted in your purpose. It generates momentum because you've got good positioning. And together, those two things turns your expertise in what I like to call your zone of genius into something that is not only fulfilling, but it's marketable and it's sustainable. And it's not just about doing what you love. It's about doing what will last, building what will last. It's not just about doing what you love. It's about building what will last. So when you work with me, I walk you through a process of doubling down on your purpose. I don't know if you've ever played blackjack, but there's this one scenario where you double down when you feel like your hand is good. Okay. And I walk you through doubling down on your purpose because your purpose is good. And it's not at all about being dismissive of your corporate pedigree, but with me, we build on the power of your corporate pedigree. We build on the power of your corporate skill set. So it's like this, if I could just say, because one of the things that we struggle with so much success behind us is we think that this next chapter, this doing something new, is going to require us to start from scratch. But I want you to adopt this thinking instead. I am not starting from scratch. I am starting from strength. Let me say it again. I want you to adapt this thinking instead. I am not starting from scratch. I am starting from strength. Too often women step into entrepreneurship and forget you are already highly qualified. The first thing we want to do is discount what we've done, discount what we know, discount what we achieve. And we do that by saying, oh, I got to go get this before I can start. Or, oh, I got to go to this class before I can start. Or I got to go get this certification before I can start. You are already accomplished. You are already highly qualified. You've spent your entire career, or at least the best part of your career, making strategic decisions, leading teams, navigating pressure, solving complex problems, delivering results. And you want to discount all of that by saying, I don't know enough to start. Come on now. That's not the case. That's not random experience that you're bringing to the table. That is invaluable equity. Invaluable equity that you are bringing to the table. So you are not starting from scratch. You are starting from strength. And it's not about abandoning your corporate background. It's about repurposing it. It's about reframing it in a way that aligns and speaks to who you are becoming and who you are called to serve. This is the power of building on your business brilliance. So I got my coffee cup again because I want to ask a question. Let me check the time. I want to ask a question. And my primary question is this. What is the thing that you're putting in between you and your starting line? We put so many things between us and our starting line. We come with this long list of reasons that says we're not qualified to start instead of looking at a list of reasons why you are. What have you put in between where you are and your starting line? What have you said, I got to go do, I got to go get, I got to go become? What have you introduced as a clause into you not being ready to go? One of the best phrases I ever heard, I was in a coaching program, and one of the coaches was Coach Jatia. And she used to say all the time, clarity comes in the doing. Clarity comes in the doing. Clarity comes in the doing. But many of us, we push doing way off beyond the start line, and we come up with all of these other checklist tasks that refuse or delays our start. It refuses or delays our start. And so I want to invite you to courageously start sooner. Courageously start sooner. And I want to give you the opportunity to make the decision to start with something that is going to fuel you forward and allow you to get in a space where you can get the support that you need to be more strategic. I have one more thing I want to say. I was going to skip over it, but I have one more thing I want to say because I found myself falling victim to this mistake. And if I could give any word to the wise, if I could send any thing that I would say, take heed of, I would say, don't make the mistake of trying to figure this out on your own. So many of us, we will consume content. We will try to connect the dots on our own because a lot of our career, we've been able to do that. We strong arm it up, I like to say. And so we try to see what they're talking about. What are they talking about? We try to read all we can, watch all we can, listen to all we can to see how we can connect the dots on our own. But I will tell you, when you're building something new, getting clarity isn't enough, even though it's the starting point. You also need perspective. You also need support. You also need to be in an environment where your ambition is matched, not misunderstood. That's the power of coaching. It truly collapses the distance between where you are and what you're capable of. It collapses that distance for you because wisdom comes to the table to work for you. It helps you to see yourself more clearly. It helps you to move more confidently. And it helps you to make a decision that aligns with who you are becoming. And when you pair that with being in a room full of women who get it, there is nothing like being in a room connected to people who get you, who understands you. Everything accelerates. Coaching plus community is truly the fast track. Let me say that again. Coaching plus community is truly the fast track because proximity to the right people isn't just inspiring, it's activating. I am here to activate you. Strategy gives you a plan, but the right coaching and the right room gives you momentum. And that's exactly why I created the Corporate to Entrepreneur Live event. It's designed to deliver. This curated experience is for high achieving women who are ready to move from swirling the building to launching the business, to getting the clarity. So what if the clarity you've been craving isn't something you find, but it's something you design? That's the heart of the Corporate to Entrepreneur Live, the 2-day experience that is going to be transformational. It's an experience that's curated for high achieving women who are ready to move forward with strategy, not guesswork. I will say to you, you don't need more ideas. You need a clear path to build the right business. And I've talked a lot about the right business over the last couple of days. Inside this room that will take place in October, on October 25th and 26th, inside this room, we'll walk through in even more detail my signature framework, purpose plus positioning equals profits. You'll get the opportunity to apply it directly to your business vision. You'll get the structure, strategy, and support to go from swirling impossibility to actually moving in purpose. I love that. Moving in purpose. I want to reassure you that you've already proven yourself in your career. And now is the time to build something that is fully yours and build it from a place of confidence with a coach that knows how to help you shift with intention. This is where your next level begins. This is where you can stop the swirl. Now, here's what I want to say. If you've been watching me all of this time, I want to just affirm the fact that you are really leaning in. You are really reflecting, and you are really agreeing with the things that I'm saying, because there's no way you've been watching me all this time if that is not the case. But I also want to say, this is what I know about you, the one who has been tuned in from my start. I know that you're not dabbling here. I know that you're not being entertained out of curiosity. I know that you are here because something in you knows that it is your time. You've outgrown the version of success that only checks the boxes, and you're ready for something that's yours on your own term, rooted in your brilliance and built with strategy. Dare I say, you're not chasing a dream. You're ready to design a new reality. And that is why Corporate to Entrepreneur Live exists. Because women like you don't need more hype. You don't need more hype. You need a strategy that rivals the ones you've led in the boardroom. You need a space where you can move into your next in a way that makes sense to you. So this isn't just about launching a business, though that's a really big part that excites me. It's about you stepping fully into the vision that's pulling and has been pulling on you for a while now. I want to say that this is your moment. This is your moment. And I'm going to close with this. The best decision I made when I was at my professional crossroads wasn't launching a business overnight. It was giving myself permission to pause, invest in clarity, and get in the right room. The best decision was giving myself permission to attend an event very similar to the one I'm inviting you to. It gave me a space to hear myself. It gave me the strategy to move forward. And it gave me the support to stop second guessing and start building with intention. I want Corporate to Entrepreneur Live to be that same moment for you. Not because you can't do it on your own, but because you don't have to. You don't have to figure it out on your own. You can give yourself permission to accelerate your success. You can give yourself permission to make the wise choice to get help. One of the things that I am so glad that I embraced as a mantra is that getting help does not make me weak. It makes me wise. And so if that's you, I want to invite you to be in the room with me. The pre-sale rate is happening right now. It's 80% off. That gets you in the room for less than $100. You can make that decision today to begin to make the shift into who you are being called to be. That's day 2 of my Coffee Chat Live. The link is www.theceoshift.live. It's there for you on the screen. I am so excited that you have joined me. We got one more day on tomorrow. I am going to wrap it up with a finale talk. Hopefully this has been impactful for you. Hopefully you will say yes to yourself. Hopefully you will give yourself permission to get in the room and take advantage of the pre-sale rate. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.